Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Rebecca and I make videos because I live in Italy, so I make videos about Italy. I also give some expat advice to people. So welcome and welcome back. So in this video I want to talk about expats juggling. And what I mean by expats juggling in terms of work. And pretty much 90% of the expats that I meet here in Italy are teachers. So teaching is the first job that most people do when they arrive in Italy. And it's a wonderful thing that we are able to come to Italy or to many countries around the world and be eligible to teach just because we speak English. That's the only requirement a lot of the times you need. If you speak English, whether you've been a teacher before, you've not been a teacher, you speak English, okay, you're good for the job. But what I want to talk about or want to discuss in this video is working here in Italy with purpose. Not just coming here and finding the first job and just staying with it, working with purpose. I have my notes here, guys, and you know I always refer back to my notes. Working with purpose and not wasting time. I know some people would always say, oh, you can never waste time or blah, 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 blah. But I just want to give you guys some advice from knowing expats who have lived here for some time, gone back to their original country, or just generally friends that I have here that feel a bit irritated in the space that they're in. So I want to share these things with you guys. All right, so what are the jobs that people generally do here in Italy, expat generally do here in Italy? Number one, as I said before, teaching English is generally number one. If you're a native English speaker, definitely that is the job. Most people will teach English in a school and also do private lessons, okay? So this is person number one, generally school and private lessons. And it can look a little bit like this, where they will work until part-time in a school, maybe 20 hours in a school, and then after in the evenings they'll be working with private students, mainly possibly every evening. Maybe they might have 10 private students, so they're in this. And if you do fall into this category, it is nice. It's not a bad gig, especially if it teaches you something that you love. Number two, babysitter, au pair. Number three, au pair. Maybe a bit of marketing work here and there, social media work, maybe for a company they could possibly be doing. Generally, a lot of expats, they just literally pick up anything they can find. If somebody says to them, oh, can you do this? Yes. Can you do that? Yes. So basically juggling multiple things at the same time, working as a teacher, doing extra lessons, doing babysitting on the weekends. It can get very exhausting. In the moment, doing this type of work and saying yes to everything is great in the moment because you have some money in your pocket and you're able to maybe, you know, live, eat. But if you're somebody that has dreams, it can actually deter you from your dreams if you're not using your money wisely. It can deter you from your dreams, and it can deter people from their dreams for a long time, depending on how long you live here for. So let me just tell you about some of my personal experience living here and why I feel that I can share this with you guys in terms of give you the advice on this, because these are some of the things that I felt myself. So I've been here about almost 5 years, almost 5 years. And while it's been great, I came here, I didn't have much of a plan when I came, and I started doing the teaching as soon as I came here. But I soon realized that the teaching gig is not something that I can possibly do long term. And I did private lessons, and private lessons were great. And generally private lessons do pay well. So if you're working in the daytime and then have private lessons in the evening, you can be earning a little bit of money, guys. But if it's not something that you love, which I like teaching, but is it my long, can I say long lasting passion? Is it my passion? I would say no. I like to do it. I enjoy doing it and I give my all when I do it, but is it something that I want to do long term? No. I can honestly say no. And yeah, so I've been here for this period of time, and I started to think, I started to think to myself, right, I can keep going like this and become very exhausted in teaching in the school. And I've told you guys, you've read, I don't know if you've watched some of my past videos, you can see that the teaching situation here is very hit and miss depending on which schools you go to. So long term, it can be quite difficult, to work in these schools long term. And also the private lessons that you have can also be very up and down. A student might leave, the next academic term you have less students cancel, there's all types of stuff going on. So basically, when you're working here, your nervous system isn't chilled. It's not cool, guys. It's not relaxed, your nervous system, because you're always thinking. Sometimes you're thinking, okay, have I got enough money for the next month? Have I got enough money? Because you're juggling. And then somebody else might come along and say, oh, okay, can you do this for me? And you're kind of like living in that mode of, that mode. So yeah, it started to make me think, right, I've been there for a certain amount of time. What can I do now? And for me, I have a couple chronic illnesses. So I know that the gig that I was doing before, working in a school and also doing private lessons, running around people's houses, is definitely not something that I can do long term. And I think for most people, even people without chronic conditions, it's something that you can do for a period of time. It's not something that I advise anybody to do over a long period of time, because it can be very stressful depending on the schools that you work in and the students that you have, and if you're supported in your role. Anyway, so yeah, that's a little bit about me. So it made me think, what can I do now? What path was I on before? And how can I continue to follow down that path? Or if I wanted to, or what can I do new? For example, what can I do now in Italy? I'm here. What can I do? So those are the questions that I've been asking myself. And this is why I thought to film this video, to give you guys some advice if anybody's looking to move here, or anyone's thinking of moving and they don't know what to do when they come here. Basically, you don't have to make, I won't say the mistakes that I made, but you just don't necessarily have to walk down the same path. You know what I mean? And I've noticed when a lot of people leave Italy, they might leave after 10 years, they might leave after 2 years, after 1 year, to go back to their country. They will find that they have big gaps in employment, a big gap in employment of teaching. So before, they might have been in, what can I say, marketing, or they might have been like me. I was a volunteer manager. So let's use me as an example, a volunteer manager. And now my CV just looks like, boom, online teaching at this school, teaching there, teaching. So I've got a solid 5 years of teaching. But teaching is, as I said to you before, it's not something that I want to go into. If I was to move back to the UK, I wouldn't want to go into teaching. I wouldn't want to do teaching again, unless maybe it's my own teaching business, or I set up a school online, or set up an ESL school in the UK. So I'm doing it with purpose. So my experience here is not gone wasted. I'm going to use the word wasted, but it's not gone to the wayside, because I'm going to actually use that experience, 5 years teaching experience, to further myself in the future. But I know that teaching does have transferable skills, but it's depending on which field or which area you want to then go into. So you've got to think about all these things. So yeah, you can have I've got, for example, 5 years of solid teaching, and then what do I want to do? Because like I said before, if I was to ever go back to the UK or or just in the future, teaching is not something that I want to continue doing. I would have to go into I would definitely go into a different field. So you've got to think about that. And most people that do leave, and why am I doing this with my hands? Most people that do leave here, it's kind of like once they're going to leave, they're like, oh my goodness, what can I do now? And there is that panic of, what can I do now? Oh, should I go into this area when I get home? Should I do this? I'm going to have to retrain. I'm going to have to do this. But if you can think before and just kind of like be in alignment with what you actually want to do, or you're doing something that you really love, or something that has transferable skills that is related to the job that you're going to do, then you're okay. Then you're going to be a winner. But if English teaching, for example, the babysitting, the au pairing, the this and the this doesn't have any kind of relation to what you want to do, then it's a different subject. If you're coming here for maybe 1 year and 6 months, then it's fine. You come here, you be a teacher, be an au pair, and you're coming here for experience and whatever, that's fine. But a lot of the time, a lot of people do come here for experience, guys, and they end up staying here for a longer period of time. That's when I find a lot of people lose focus, or time runs by on them, time escapes them, because they came here for 6 months originally, they have no plan, and they just continue just to tread water and just tread water. When I speak to older expats, it's quite interesting to see that some of them are still doing the same thing that they were doing 20 years ago. What I mentioned, juggling, grabbing any opportunity areas there. And when I see them doing this, it's like, wow, I know this is not the path that I want to go down, but I know it's a path that many people can easily go down. And they are literally doing the same thing, trying to find a job. Come August, trying to find a job here, still juggling in the evenings with lessons, with private lessons, and trying to get a certain amount of money so that their money balances. And guys, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. I can see it's exhausting for them. It's not only exhausting for them, but it's worrying for them. And they feel, the feedback that I get, they feel like they're too old to retrain, to do anything different. So they stay where they are, or they stay doing this. But I don't know how that works long term. I don't know how it works when, for example, a person is in their 60s. I don't know how it works, juggling and doing all this. And it just all depends on the person's health as well. So yeah, those are the things that I've come across. So just warning, or not even a warning, just to note to you guys, I would say plan ahead, and just take some time for yourself and just to think what you want and what you want to do, and just think in your mind, are you doing this out of passion, or are you doing it just to do it? If you were to leave here in 5 years time, 6 years time, what will you do? What will you do if you were to go back to your country? I don't know. You have to ask yourself the questions, or are you living on autopilot? And those are the questions that I've asked myself. All right, so let's look at some type of advice before this video runs on for extra long. Advice that I would give. I would say use your money that you make here, some of those private lessons that you do, use that money to invest in yourself, invest into your future, invest into your future. So this could look something like investing into a business, maybe starting a blog. If you don't have the time because you're doing all these things, find somebody to help you write these blogs. You can use something like Fiverr, where you have people that will help, or even write your blog post for you. Writing a blog, you don't necessarily have to write anything about Italy. It doesn't have to. It could be about on any subject, and it can be very, very, very lucrative, guys. So just invest in yourself, do other things, outside incomes coming in, basically, or try to set up those things. It could even be better if you did that before you even entered into Italy. That would also be perfect. Number two, maybe try to stay in the field that you love. So if you love charity work, or if you're an engineer, why deter off that field? Stay in that area and try to find work in Italy in that area. And if you can't find work in that area, because the job market here in Italy, there's no secret that the job market is that a lot of people are out of employment. So if you do have a certain passion, I know some people, they like performing arts. I've met a lot of people who are into music and they want to do some career in music, or but they also ask me questions like, do you think I should move to Italy? And I would say you really have to think about it. If you want to do something that you love, but you also want to move to Italy and there's no jobs in the area, maybe Italy is not fixed for you. Maybe Italy is something that maybe you can do. You can come here for 3 months, live off your savings, enjoy Italy, and then maybe move to Germany, or maybe move to Australia, or move to Sweden, or move to Switzerland, where there's money and where there's jobs, more opportunities. I would say do something like that. Have a plan. This is my point. If you move here, you're away, or if you're still here, have a plan. Say, okay, for 2 years, because teaching English is so easy to do and easy to attain a job in that field. Say to yourself, okay, I'm going to do this for 2 years and stick to it, and then move to a different area. But I know once you do start, it's hard to stop. This is the thing. And generally, teachers make more than a lot of occupations here in Italy. I know some teachers with private lessons, they get 30 euros per hour for their private lessons. So I know that if you do that, if you are, say for example, making 30 euros per hour, it's hard to leave that type of money per hour. So I would just say, use the money wisely in other areas, or to do other things, or to invest it in something else. That's all I can say. I would say this is very personal, but for me, I would say try not to come here, pay bills, live kind of like hand to mouth, pay bills, go home, get really busy, and just be doing that kind of hamster wheel type of work. Make sure you're doing something that you love and you're not in the hamster wheel, because I think you could possibly end up regretting moving here and just working in an area that you don't even love, and paying bills. And I know that for a lot of people do that, because it's weird. Living in Italy, you still feel like you're on a bit of it feels like, it's weird. You live somewhere that's not your native country, so it can still kind of feel a little bit like a holiday, and it can right, okay, Rebecca. It can feel like a holiday. It can still feel like a holiday, and you can just be living like it's holiday time, and then 5 years and 10 years is passing, and you've not really done anything serious. That's pretty much my point. So you have got to put your serious hat on if this is a place that you want to live long term, or for a long period of time. I wrote move to a country with opportunities in your field. I said that already, didn't I? The thing with teaching is that, especially teaching here, it's definitely ESL teaching is different than teaching in a school maybe in the UK. I don't know. I've never taught in the UK actually, so I'm not even going to use that as an example. But generally, the schools here, you could be working there for 10, 20 years. You will seldom get any pay rise. There'll be little progression. It'll just be the same thing every day. You're going in to teach. Next year there'll be a different child. Next year there will be different kids, but it's just generally the same in and out type of thing. There's there's no growth. There's no growth and there's no development going higher. There's just not. If your teacher the manager might say, if you ask her, can I have some more money after working there for 10 years? Can I have a little bit more money, please? And she might turn around and say, yeah. But don't expect it again, maybe for another 2 or 3 years. And you have to ask for it. So, yeah. You hardly move up and have pay rises. That was my point. But what I would like to say is that, guys, since COVID, there are so many opportunities. There are so many things that you can do in order to reskill and move forward with your life. There are heaps of remote jobs now. There's online university, there are free workshops, there's free boot camps, you've got Coursera that's got courses. So that there's definitely ways out of it, but you just have to be willing and open-minded and ready to work hard and to change what you want to do. You might have to say to opportunity, no, sorry, I can't do this opportunity. Why? Because I am going to work on myself. You might have to, those few hours in the evening that you're doing your teaching, your private lessons, you might have to, give those lessons away or jig them around so that you can work on your future. Don't get busy on these nowish things and then not work on your future. This is all I'm saying, guys. Online university, guys, honestly, and even in the UK, they're giving people they're giving you loans now so that you can do further education. And you don't even need to go down that road. Remote jobs are in abundance now. If you're already in Italy and you're feeling stuck and you don't know what to do, just take some time for yourself and just take a weekend and just think what you want to do, what makes you happy. Is this something that you want to do long term? August is wonderful in Italy because most people are not working. If you're a teacher, you're off. You've been off since July. So in this period, don't do what the Italians are doing and be like, okay, let me go on vacay, let me have a holiday. Use that time, I would say, to plan, to move forward, to experiment, to start your blog, to research maybe a business that you can do online, just anything. Do that. Don't use the time. I would say use that time wisely. I think we're very lucky that we have that period of time there. Whether you're being paid for it or not, I don't know. But having that period of time, it can give you some type of time to reflect and to to refocus and plan. If you're outside of Italy and you're wanting to move to Italy, I would say, guys, plan first, okay? Plan what you want to do, plan your career moves. If you come out, what you want to do in terms of work, plan. That's what I would say, plan. If I was to go back, guys, I would plan. I would have done things a lot different. I would have trained first. Maybe I would have trained in a different field, maybe something remote, most likely IT. I would have trained in and then got a remote job and moved to Italy with the sterling paycheck, if you understand what I mean. And started my blog already in a certain area, started social media already. I would have done these things. I would have started these things, got them flowing and got them moving. That's what I would have done. Anyway, guys, this video, I've got a feeling, is run on for so long. I hope that you guys have got some really good gems for it. It's a little bit waffly, but you know what, guys, I'm not perfect. All right, well, thank you for watching this video, and tell me something below. Do you agree, but do you have any advice for anybody? What's your current situation? Are you teaching? Would you like to come out of the teaching area? So yeah, have you got your own business? A lot of people have started their own business. I've noticed a lot of the expats there. A lot of them are doing things mainly related to Italy. So they're helping people maybe arrange trips to Italy, arrange tours. They're writers, doing freelance writing. so many different areas people have gone into, but what I do notice is that a lot of them end up becoming self-employed. So anyway, thank you for watching this video, and please like and subscribe to my channel, guys. There's so many of you that watch my videos but don't subscribe. Please, come on. I want to get to 1,000. Can you help me, please? Thank you. Ciao and goodbye.